Yep, we're here. Hi. Hi. So, um, let's see, where are we going to start? We were going to work on finishing our face mask or basic design or whatever you want to call it. This is what my plan was to finish this up, but it's pretty well finished. I just want to, I want to do something else though. And then we'll do another drawing project soon. But as we talked about in the last video, you can add your illustrations to this basic design. As long as they have a lot of white space, it's going to work really, really well. This is a very busy design that we made, but so you want something with white space so it pops. So like if you do have this made into a gator, that long tube that fits over your mouth and nose and neck, like I showed, you can put this at the top. You can even just call this the gator design. Put this at the top, and that would set your drawing of, say, Honey Bear, or your drawing of Jack, or your drawing of Bugsy's house would sit right at the top, and people would see it, which is pretty cool. That's what we want, and then you can add other things down below. They're there, and it's going to make an interesting design. Or Dixie, our friend who's a little outrageous and does all, he does right and wrong things like all of us do. He's kind of a character unto himself. Or Jimmy, the little boy who dreams up all the stories in my books. Jimmy is the catalyst for everything. So you could put him right in the center at the top. The site I use, the Gator people I use, is signs.com, signs.com. It'll cost about $21 to get something like this printed up and shipped to you. That's with tax and delivery. I think it's $21.57, something like that. But I love my gator, and I ordered more. I shouldn't have done it because it is a lot of money, but I did it anyway on some of my paintings. But I go to signs.com, signs.com, and there's a ton of sites out there that you can find who will print these. Some may be able to do it for less. I just happen to be comfortable with how we can upload. The editing is really, really simple, and then you can choose the colors that you want to frame this. So red, yellow, pink, purple, whatever you want, blue. But you can add color to this if you like. We're going to go over that in just a second. Again, I'm trying to find inexpensive ways to do these, so absolutely anyone should be able to afford it. Whether it's crayons, for color, Oh, wait a minute. Let's go back to black and white. On these, on the black and white illustrations, we've been using scrap paper from around the house. Old bills that nobody wants anymore. Printing paper that they don't need it anymore. Instead of throwing it out, we've been using scrap paper to draw on. We've been using instead of me using my fancy markers, my brush pens, and my cool stuff, we have gone down to using these. I literally got all of this. Here, I'll show you a new pencil. I literally got all of this at the dollar store. So $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, and you're set. $5 and some scrap paper. Maybe there's a business nearby that prints things out and they don't need that paper anymore. They're just throwing it away. You can ask them. There's scrap paper everywhere. We just have to we have to use our ingenuity. So for $5, you've got all the materials you need to draw with me. That's it. Neighbors might have scrap paper. Old bills or something they're going to throw out and they can't use, or have an old printer and they're not going to use the printings that they made. So $5 at the dollar store, Dollar General, whatever it is, and you're all set. For today's, wait a minute, we'll skip this for now. For today's project, I got a box of crayons on sale. I think I found these at Staples, and they were on sale for like $2 or something. Staples, Walmart, Walgreens, something or other. But you can get crayons at the dollar store. This, however, this little set of watercolors I just picked up at a craft supply store. I go to Michael's a lot, and I use their coupons. Let me unwrap it. I'm not a big fan of watercolors. I'm not very good at them. I'm not scared of them, but I'm just not very good at them. And that's the God's honest truth. I don't have the patience for it. If we don't have the right kind of paper to add color to our illustrations, the paper may wrinkle. Usually people who do watercolor use a very special paper that you would pick up at a Michael's or an art supply store. It's thick, it's heavy, it has a lot of texture to it, whereas this is very light and the water may wrinkle it up. We're going to test that out in just a second. We're going to see how this goes. But I'm trying to come up with solutions if you want to add color. And because so many people are out of work, I'm trying to think how we can do everything cheaply, these little projects. Plus, not everybody has the money for even a craft supply store. So we're just trying to find stuff that will work for everyone. We've stripped it right down to the least amount of money we can spend. This watercolor set cost me, I think, $4 because I had a coupon. So let's say $5 at the most. So $5 at the dollar store, Dollar General, and you've got the pens, a pencil, eraser, glue stick, scissors everybody has, usually. So maybe a pair of scissors, $6. This was $4 or $5, let's say, at Michael's, and then the rest of it is just scrap paper, stuff that would go in the garbage. So we're talking $11. I forgot something. I'll be right back. I forgot my little thing of water. Here we go. My brushes in any of the painting that I do, whether it's usually oil is what I do. Oil. Let me see if I know I hit the camera. There we go. Usually I do oil painting, and I don't buy fancy brushes for that either. My favorite ones are ones that come in a pack, and you can get them pretty much anywhere. Up in New England, Job Lot was my favorite. We've got, what is it, Ollie's down here. But there are Michael's, and there are all kinds of other places where you can get them. It's just that they want to charge you a lot of money, so you want to get coupons. You want to make sure that you're all set for coupons. So a brush, if you get a set of brushes, like I get in a package, and I don't have an example, maybe $5, maybe. Getting singular brushes, getting like one little watercolor brush, or what could be used for watercolor, it can be a little expensive, so go for the cheapies. We don't need fancy. I don't even like fancy. I feel bad because I destroy my brushes, so why would I get fancy? Oh, pardon me. All right, what I want to cover before we get into everything else, and this is what I want you to remember, okay? Here are my rules for creating art. Here are my rules. Because we're taught a lot. And in art, I know teachers are trying to get you to see things differently and to think differently out of what you think you know. And that's what I'm doing on Studio 120, whether it's the Let's Make channel or my regular Studio 120 channel, where I'm painting in oils and swearing a little bit, I have to warn you, because I've been in a mood lately. I want to go over this, and I want you to write it down and keep it in mind when we're making these projects, because sometimes we feel intimidated and like we have to draw a certain way. And on my drawings, as you have seen, we will take the drawing, take the paper, and just keep spinning it. Just keep turning it in different angles. We don't worry about it, we just keep working. If we feel we've made a boo-boo, we just move forward. Like, I hated this at first. We moved forward. Which other one didn't I like? There was something else in here I didn't like, and now, because it's pretty much finished, I've figured out a way to tie it all together. And if you can do that, tie everything together, the boo-boos are going to disappear. You're not even going to think about them. In this particular one, we took thin pen and just kind of scribbled around absolutely everything. And it pulled it all together. There's always another layer we can find. Okay, there's always another layer, so we can build it up and make it cohesive. Here's an example. The scribbles, the tiny scribbles. I use these in everything. They cover up a lot of what could be construed as boo-boos. But look at, now it ties into this because we've got the scribbles throughout here, throughout the drawing. Right? So we're going to go over these rules, and I've been living by them for years. First of all, it doesn't matter. Let me get a piece of paper. Doobie-doo, let me get a clean piece of paper. There we go. First of all, it doesn't matter. This isn't earth-shattering. It shouldn't hurt your ego. We're just here having fun, and all art should be that way. Oh, there's something I didn't do in this. I meant to do. It matters to us in a way. It matters very, very deeply. But while you're in the throes of it, I want you to think, it doesn't matter. This one little boo-boo doesn't matter. We can alter it. We can make it feel right. Let me finish up that R. There's always a way to make it feel right. Or usually, and if it doesn't, if we can't get it to feel right, then we scrap it. Because it doesn't really matter. Your world's not going to end because of one little thing. You're going to learn from it, move on, and do something else. Use the piece that you feel that you've messed up on, or the piece that you've just finished, to build something out. Learn from it. My second rule, it's all fixable. In my painting videos, I talk about that. It's all fixable. In the painting videos on Studio 120, the other channel I have, my favorite tool is a rag, so that I can just take the paint off and try again. It's all fixable. Add another layer. Add another layer. This is a very subtle layer, those scribbles. Watch. Where is it? Where's my little pen? There it is. There's my little pen. Just scribble, scribble, scribble. Scribble, scribble, scribble. Ooh, maybe I'll put some lines in there. It's all fixable. There's always a way to make it feel right. You just got to find that other layer. Let yourself go. Let what you go know. Let your pen go. Let your brush go. Okay? Sometimes I've used the absolute wrong color. When that happens when I'm painting, I just pull out my rag and try again. Or I think, did I put that color down for a reason? And I'll just sit and think about it. I'll work on something else while I'm thinking. Boink, boink, boink. I meant to do this last night, but I think I got sleepy. Okay, that's looking a little crazy, but it's okay. I was tired when I did it. I can always do it again. Number 3 rule that is extremely important. There are no rules. Drawing, painting, there are basic things you have to know, skills that you should try and attain. But there are no rules in painting. There's nothing that says, or drawing rather, there's nothing that says you have to use a certain material. There's nothing that says, you know, you have to use a skin tone. I'm pretty well known for that. I don't paint my white people with teal. I don't paint my white people to look like me. I paint them using other colors. I'll paint African American people the same way. I have all kinds of tricks that I use because there are no rules. I have a friend who paints with tar. He actually paints with tar. He experimented with it. And that's how we move forward, is not by following the rules, the quote-unquote rules that someone thought up, someone else thought up. We come up with our own. When I paint, I put down black and white gesso first. And that's how I start my paintings. There's nothing that says I shouldn't. I wouldn't listen to it anyway. I'm going to finish this up. I went to art school for a while, and I didn't like it. I didn't fit in, even in art school. It was a little too normal looking for everybody. I think I'm very odd, and I've been told that several times. Oh, many, many times, never mind. So I write my own rules. I decide what materials I'm going to have. I decide my technique. I listen to my materials. I do a little bit of research if I don't know how to use something. I go on YouTube, or I go to books. I learn how to use things. Technique, skill, that's what you want to learn. That's where there are certain rules that have to be applied. Doesn't mean that you can't try something that you've thought of. So there they are. Those are my rules. It doesn't matter. Oop. Except for that apostrophe. There we go. It does not matter. This is not end of the world stuff. Everybody's going to be safe, even if you've made a little boo-boo. It's fine. It's fine. You do what you can at your skill level. Do what you can at your skill level, and you'll just keep getting better. It's all fixable. All of it. There's always a way. You just have to find it. Whoop. Yeah, that fixable doesn't look great, but it's okay. It's all fixable, and there are no rules. Okay? All right, moving on. So let's start with these. It's been ages since I've used oh, that's nifty. You see how look at how the lid has little dents in it. Has like little cups. That's so that you can use them to hold water and the color that you're using. I like oh, that's not periwinkle. You'll need your brush, you need a little jar of water. I'm going to start with the periwinkle. It happens to be one of my favorite colors. So you take some of the paint, look at it, and you put it in that little cup. Now you can make your watercolor as dark or as light as you want, but we're just going to do. We're not going to worry about that right now. What we're going to try and see is how the paper reacts to it, our scrap paper. See how it gets lighter as it goes along? What am I going to choose next? Orange. Oops, I got blue in there. Make sure you clean your brush. think I'm going to grab some orange. I love orange. I love me some orange. It's getting lighter and drier. All right, we're going to wait for those two colors to dry. You see how there's pools of paint up there and water? We're going to see how the paper reacts. I have another piece of paper underneath so I don't get color all over my desk, like I'm inclined to do. Look, I've made a mess over here. While this is drying, we're going to move on to something else, because I didn't just pick up that little set of watercolors for $4 or $5. I also picked up the box of crayons for $1 or $2. And what I wanted to see was how the pen would react to crayon. Because what you need to do, you can draw everything out and then color them in. Or we could go in another direction. You could choose to go in a whole nother direction and put some color down first and then draw like we have over the crayon. However, and here's the thing, here is crayon where I've just drawn it on and left it alone. And I took my pen and drew. Yeah, see that it's not going to hold. Let's try the Sharpie instead. Yeah, there we go. It still isn't going to hold well. It does not draw well over it. Let me draw one of our leaves. It's okay, but it can smudge, and it doesn't work particularly well. When you just draw straight onto, and when you just put the crayon down, what color is this? Yeah, you put the crayon down, grab this one, like that. And then draw on it. How much can you see? This is a whole new angle for that camera. See? It didn't stick at all. Where it would normally, on the paper, it's got crayon on it now, where it would normally just adhere. It would soak into the paper. It can't, because crayons are basically wax. Wax like a candle. That's what's basically in the crayon, plus a whole bunch of chemicals. So it's not going to hold as easily. See? So what I did, if you see, I split this in half. I colored on both. I colored the whole paper, split it in half. This side I didn't treat. I didn't do anything to, so you could see how a pen is going to react to it. This side I ironed. I took another sheet of scrap paper. Let's see if I can find one. Let's find something. Not so much scrap paper. I took a piece of scrap paper, a bigger piece than this, put it over the top and ironed. And that helped to remove some of the wax. And then I flipped it over. I had a whole piece of paper so I wouldn't make a mess. This is just a little piece that I've grabbed. Then I flipped the paper over. Oops, can't show you that. And then I ironed on the back so that more wax would go through. So more wax would be absorbed. Okay? It probably took me 3-4 minutes to let the wax be absorbed into my little piece of scrap paper, but that's what you want, and I'll show you why. I tested it up here. The lines are nice and clear. Okay, this is having trouble because I ran it through wax. There we go. It's not beating on the surface, and that's what it does. This is liquid, and on top of wax, we can't see it, but it's gonna bead. It's not going to adhere. It's not going to hold. We've taken out some of the wax through ironing. And look, see the difference? The lines are sharper, they're clearer, the pen moves smoother. Okay, make me into a liar. Little half of the paper I may have ironed over there. that's beating up. It's gray and it doesn't look sharp. Over here, oh my God, it's making me into a liar. Anyway, I've been doing this for a few days trying to figure this out. I did it again over here. I drew in crayon on the piece of paper, ironed it, drew over the top. The lines were nice and smooth. Over here, I just put down crayon, drew over the top, and it's kind of gray. It doesn't really show, and it took a while for it to dry. I ran my finger over it, and it smudged. So this is my suggestion. If you want to color, you can do it afterwards. But I was trying it out beforehand. Let's grab another, where's that little piece? There it is. My poor little pen has wax on it now, so it's misbehaving. Let's say, I'm going to pick this color. You can color it. You don't even have to color in the lines. You can do whatever you want. This is your drawing. Now, if I were to do, had my iron nearby, I would probably iron this so I could do more work, do the squiggly lines about it, and that would help make it a whole drawing. I would do this. Yeah, see, it's not going to adhere. No. It's not going to stick. It's not going to be as sharp because I haven't ironed the wax out of it and the other chemicals that get absorbed in the paper. So, if you can, and you want to draw over, your colors. Lay your colors down first and then draw over them, which is super fun. Take a piece of paper, put it over the top, put an iron on high, and run it over and run it over. Very slowly. Very slowly. Flip your paper, run the iron over. Very slowly. And I did the same thing here. I actually used two blues. I used two different blues. I happen to love blue, so I put down some kind of blue that didn't look good, so I took another kind of blue that I like better and put it down. Once again, I'm just going to draw some leaves. And it's adhering so beautifully. It's just adhering beautifully. So you have this option. Oh, I wanted to use this paper for something else. Oops. Another project, but we'll do it another day. One of the next projects I want to work on is making a jar, decorating a jar for your secrets or your thoughts. You can write them down and put them in the jar. It could be a grateful jar, what you're grateful for this day. It could be a love jar, who you love. It could be anything. But for me, sometimes I need to just get my thoughts out of my head and feel like I've spoken to somebody about them. Because sometimes I feel very alone. And then I feel better. I heard about a what they called a tattle phone at a school. And the kids could pick up the phone and vent, say things that were bothering him. Jimmy just ate my cookie. My mom won't let me do something. And then they felt better afterwards. They didn't have to bother anybody. They just felt better. So as you can, and that's what I want to do, is a jar where you can put your thoughts and feelings in, because it's a very scary time right now and it's very stressful. So we make our own little tattle jar and then we feel better. We won't call it a tattle jar. We'll find something else. So as you can see, I'm drawing very easily. Let's take the pencil and see what happens. The pencil's not really going to work terribly well. I'm drawing Jimmy. You won't be able to see him for a sec. I can see it. You probably can't. But I can draw Jimmy. Oh. Oh, poor Jimmy. Okay, not the greatest version of Jimmy, but I never seem to get the right one out on camera. It's okay, it doesn't matter. Let's get his eyes a little bit bigger. The thin pen isn't as effective as on straight paper, but that's okay. Oops. Okay, he's kind of a mess, but that was a quick draw. The point is, iron, take a piece of paper, draw out the colors you want, whether you want rainbow colors or orange or blue or red. You can draw anything you want. Take an iron, put it on high, or have someone do it for you. Just iron over your scrap paper. Flip the papers over, iron over it slowly, and let the second piece of paper absorb all the wax. They do this in batiking, B-A-T-I-K. You can look that up. All right, this is pretty dry, and it didn't wrinkle as much. I thought it would be a wrinkled mess, but it's not. I don't know why. It could be just the printing paper we used. But I was afraid it was going to be a wrinkled mess, and I was going to say don't use it. But it's working. And now we can... All right, now we can. This is apparently still wet, or has a little bit of moisture in it, so it's repelling the Sharpie. Okay, I'm going to draw a feather very quickly. One of our feathers. So this is something they try and teach you when you're painting, if you took a painting class. To put colors down on your surface, another color down on your canvas. So we're just doing that. We're taking that and putting it on paper. They get you to try and do it so you think differently. I think a white piece of paper or a white canvas is daunting and scary, and I don't work well with that. So I put down lots of black and white. I put down black gesso, not to cover the white, but in shapes. You can see it on my other channel, Studio 120. It's the sister to this one. Or you can go to my website, becklaneartist.com, or you can go to my Facebook pages, and you'll see it. I put down black and white gesso, then I put down aerosols, which is an unusual choice for canvas, or was an unusual choice, and then I lay oils over the top. I also use oil pastel. So I like to really mix things up. Oh, sounds like my neighbor's mowing his lawn again. I've never seen anyone put down black gesso before. It's just something that came to me. And since there really are no rules, why not? Why not? No one can dictate how I paint. That's up to me. This is all mine. This is where I live, is in creating art. So why not make it as big and as bold as I want my life to be? As adventurous and creative as I want my life to be. And I can't be right now. I can't be adventurous. So, we make adventure in making work. All right, so there's another feather. And it adhered. The magic marker adhered really, really well. This inexpensive watercolor set is a little chalky, means it feels dry, and that's fine with me. That works for me. I'm not a watercolor artist. I don't want to be. It's too small for me. I need big. Although you could go big as a watercolor artist. But I like my oils. I like my process. Being bright and bold and colorful and adventurous with oils. So this has worked out extremely well. And look at how, let me cut this up now. Look at how the feather has dimensions now because of the color behind it. Cutting quickly, sorry. The color has, the feather has interest now because we've used different colors. We didn't stick to one. We didn't paint inside the lines. We didn't keep it tidy. We went adventure. We were experimenting. Look at that. See how it works? It's awesome. So that's it. That's the little lesson today. We're going to cover up Jimmy because I did a terrible job on him. We're going to pretend that didn't happen. But there we are today. $1 to $2 worth of crayons, $4 or $5 worth of watercolor. What was it? $5 worth of basic materials, an eraser, a glue, 2 Sharpies, because you can get them at the dollar store, or any type of marker like that, a pencil. Let's say $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8. There was something else in here. Oh, we had the brush. This will probably be the most expensive thing on your shopping list, but you can also get these at the dollar store. The quality doesn't matter. We don't need top-level brushes. I don't use them. My work is shown around the world. I don't use $100 brushes. I don't like them. I don't care. There we are. There we are. I believe in investing in good materials at some point, but this is for fun. This is for us. This is so we feel at home and comfortable and we've got a quiet space. Okay, that's it. I'm going to shut up now, finally. Everybody, try experimenting. Try things that you haven't tried before. Colored pencil, just whatever. It's okay. It's all okay. Where are my rules? There we are. Doesn't matter. It's all fixable. There are no rules. All right, that's it. I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to go take a shower because I'm still in my jammies and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I think. Oops. Ciao. Ciao. Where's the button? Boink.